Who are you? Who is greatest? Who is missing? There is a question that can sound very simple: who are you? Sometimes it is only a question of identity. But sometimes it is more than that. Sometimes, when someone asks, "Who are you?" what they really mean is, "What authority do you have? Why should I listen to you? What gives you the right to speak?" And sometimes the question becomes a challenge, because underneath it lies another one: who is more important? Who has the final word? It is striking that today's gospel opens with exactly this kind of question. The disciples come to Jesus and ask, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" They are thinking about position. About rank. They want to know who is number one. And Jesus does something unexpected. He does not call Peter. He does not call John. He does not point to the most educated, the most experienced, the most influential. He calls a child, and places the child in the middle of them. Then he says, "Unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." What a strange answer. The disciples ask how to become great, Jesus tells them to become little. They are looking upward, he turns their eyes downward. They are thinking about authority, he speaks of humility. They are wondering who deserves to be served, he shows them how to serve. This is one of the great reversals of the gospel. The world measures greatness by how many people are beneath you. Jesus measures it by how many people you are willing to lift up. The child Jesus places before them is not an image of childishness. The child represents someone with no social standing to protect, someone dependent, someone who has nothing to prove. In that single gesture, Jesus turns the disciples' idea of greatness upside down. Whoever humbles himself like this child, he says, is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Notice the word, humbles. Not, pretends to be humble. There is a real difference between humility and false modesty. False humility says, "I am nothing," while secretly hoping someone will answer, "Oh no, you are very important." True humility says something quieter and deeper: "I know who I am, and I know where I come from. I belong to God. I don't have to be the center. I don't have to win every argument. I don't have to prove my importance, or receive credit for everything I do, or build my identity by defeating someone else. I belong to Christ. That is enough." Clare's greatness. This brings us to Saint Clare. She was born into a wealthy, noble family. Comfort, security, and social standing were hers for the taking. She chose otherwise. She chose poverty, prayer, simplicity, Christ. She became small in the world's eyes so that Christ could become great in her life. The world might say, "Clare, you gave up your greatness." The gospel says, "Clare, you discovered it." Her greatness was not in what she possessed but in what she surrendered, not in being noticed, but in being faithful, not in making herself important, but in making room for Christ. Which leaves us with a question worth sitting with: what am I trying so hard to prove? That I am important? That I am right? That I have authority, or deserve recognition, or that my opinion must win? Perhaps Jesus is inviting us to stop proving ourselves and simply be faithful, because our identity was never meant to come from winning an argument, or the position we hold, or how many people respect us. Our deepest identity comes from God. The question beneath the question. The gospel then takes us somewhere deeper still. Jesus tells of the lost sheep. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, does he not leave the 99 and go in search of the one that went astray? Think about that. 99 are safe. By any human accounting, that's already a success. But God does not count that way. God notices the one who wandered off, who is forgotten, who is struggling, who feels unworthy, who has stopped coming, who has quietly drifted out of reach. That one matters to God. It is not the will of your Father in heaven, Jesus says, that one of these little ones should perish. Here is the real contrast of the day. The disciples ask, "Who is greatest?" Jesus asks, "Who is missing?" They are looking toward the top, he is looking toward the edge. They are concerned with status, he is concerned with the lost. This is the difference between worldly greatness and gospel greatness. Even in the church, we can grow preoccupied with numbers, how many attended, how many participated, how successful the program was. But Jesus asks a different question: where is the one? Where is the person who stopped coming? The young person who's grown distant? The elderly parishioner who feels forgotten? The one who has been hurt, or has withdrawn, or is searching but doesn't know how to find the way back? The shepherd does not say, that sheep made its own choice. He does not say, it's only one or 99 is enough. He goes looking. Because love searches. And when he finds the lost sheep, the gospel does not describe anger, it describes joy. That is the heart of God. God does not simply wait for the lost to find their way home. God goes looking for them. Perhaps there is someone in our own life we have quietly written off, someone who disappointed us, challenged us, walked away, someone we've decided will never change. Jesus has not written that person off. The shepherd is still searching. And perhaps the gospel is asking us, have we stopped searching because we've grown tired? Stopped praying, stopped reaching out, decided that one person isn't worth the trouble? And sometimes the lost sheep is not somebody else. Sometimes it is something within us, our peace, our trust, our joy, our childlike dependence on God, lost beneath layers of worry about authority, recognition, and what others think. When that happens, the simplest truth is also the one we've forgotten: I belong to Christ. That is our deepest identity. Humility and courage. This is where Christian humility becomes Christian courage. Humility does not mean having no voice. It does not mean accepting injustice, or never questioning anything, or being afraid. Christian courage grows out of humility. We can speak the truth without making ourselves the center. We can disagree without humiliating another. We can challenge something without attacking someone. We can hold responsibility without becoming proud, knowing when to stay silent and when to speak, because either way, we are not proving our worth. We already know whose we are. Saint Clare understood this. She built her identity on nothing the world could give or take away. She let Christ become the center of her life, and that is why her witness still speaks to us today. Whose are you? Perhaps today the deeper question is not, who are you, and not even, who is greatest, but simply, whose are you? If I am Christ's, I don't have to spend my life proving I am important. I can be humble. I can serve. I can listen. I can speak with courage. I can forgive. I can reach out to the one who is lost. I can make room for the little one. 3 things to carry home. First, when you are challenged, don't rush to withdraw or fight back. Pause. Pray. Remember who you are. You don't have to win every conversation, you can respond with truth and dignity instead. Second, notice one person the world tends to overlook. Give them your attention. Listen. Make space. The one who seems small to the world may be precious in the eyes of God. Third, reach out to one person who has grown distant. A call, a message, a visit, not to lecture, not to win, not to prove a point, but simply to say, you are not forgotten. That is what the Good Shepherd does. So the disciples ask Jesus, who is the greatest? Jesus answers with a child. Then he answers with a lost sheep. And he teaches us, if you want to understand greatness, become humble like the child. If you want to understand the heart of God, go looking for the lost sheep. And if someone asks you, who are you? You do not need to answer with your title, your authority, or your achievements. You can answer with something far deeper: I am God's child. I belong to Christ. And so I can stand in humility, speak with courage, serve without needing recognition, and look around and ask the question Jesus asks, where is the one? Because in God's kingdom, the smallest can become the greatest, the forgotten can become the most precious, and the one who is lost is always worth searching for. Amen.